I did have to cut off the stream kind of quickly there, just for a few seconds, so it is going to be split into two, I think. My face was not showing on the video, obviously, so that was kind of a problem. I don't know why that happened. This never happened to me before, so do apologize about that, but we'll be going into our third segment here now. A little bit of a rocky way to it, but here we go. So it is going to be talking about the Jorge Lopez situation overall with the New York Mets and just my thoughts on it. So let's get into that. So if you somehow don't know what happened, Jorge Lopez, a reliever for the Mets yesterday, was ejected by the third base umpire after talking back, I guess, quote unquote. Was kind of a excuse my French, but kind of a BS ejection. I don't think he really deserved it as someone who was watching the game. But then after that, while heading out of the field, he threw his glove up into the air and into the stands where someone got it. So basically kind of had a temper tantrum, to be perfectly honest. And after that was then cut by the Mets. Now, there were a few events that happened in between that, which were him meeting with David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza, and also him meeting with the media, saying he didn't meet with them. And then at first we thought he said, I was the worst. I'm on the worst effing team in Major League Baseball. And then it was found out. Then we thought he said, I feel like the worst effing teammate on the worst effing team in Major League Baseball. And then we found out he just said, I'm the worst teammate in Major League Baseball. There were a lot of confusion about that part because of a translator issue. English is not his first language. And without the translator there, I think he kind of didn't fully understand the question, which is something I think baseball needs to be more careful of, because things like that, the media just runs with it, which obviously, they see a big quote like they're going to run with it. There's no real problem there. It's just, I think we have to be more careful next time to fully make sure players understand what's being asked. So yeah, just a weird situation here. And because of all this, Jorge Lopez did end up getting cut, and was just another big situation with this Mets team, and just another big thing that has been weird for this team. So my overall thoughts on this, first of all, I think that it is unfortunate that people think Lopez said he was on the worst team in baseball, and that's what kind of got ran with, and I think his reputation can be tarnished a little bit. But I also think that people are misdirecting their anger, and people saying Lopez shouldn't have been cut. I don't really agree with that. You can't throw your glove in a fit of rage into the air to give it to a fan. You can't curse with the media after giving an hour to cool off. Sorry about that. And just, I think he did handle the situation inappropriately, and I don't really agree necessarily with what happened. I think that overall, maybe the Mets overreacted a little bit cutting him, but with David Stearns being in there for his first year as the new player of baseball operations for the New York Mets, you have to take these things seriously, and you have to build a culture. And if you let Lopez do these things that you felt were detrimental to the team and to the culture, and just walk around like nothing happened, I think it is something that is not great and something you have to control. So overall, just more stuff with the Mets that is bad here. And lost in all this, they're cutting a really good reliever. Lopez has been very good for the team. His numbers haven't been the greatest. I think last outing kind of inflated his ERA, but overall, he's been a really good pitcher for them. His stuff has really been doing well. And just the thing is, I just don't think you can do what he did and live to tell the tale, quote unquote. You can't throw your glove into the stands. You can't curse in front of the media after being given an hour and already know you're on thin ice. And then another thing was the Mets cut him because apparently he lied to the media saying, oh, I haven't met with anyone, when that was a lie, when a few minutes before that he met with David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza. So overall, I just think it was time to move on for the Mets organization and Jorge Lopez. But it's just another part of this Mets season that keeps getting worse and worse. Again, I'm a Mets fan. I've had 18 years to prepare myself for this kind of madness with this organization. I'm really not surprised. But you look at the high expectations this Mets team had coming into the year. They had a really nice offseason, in my opinion. They, of course, have a lot of great players. And just what's happened this year with them, and what's happened, just kind of being just really been clowned upon by everyone, is just really unfortunate. And yeah, the team has been really bad. Again, from my coworker here, Eric, who hosts the wrestling podcast, The New York Mets have always been a team of good talent, but can't come together to win. Mets need to reestablish that culture. Lopez is rightfully frustrated. I completely agree with everything said here. I think that overall the Mets are always a team of good talent, but that can't come together. I mean, you look at this team. I mean, Francisco Lindor, Jeff McNeil, Pete Alonso, Starling Marte, Brandon Nimmo, Francisco Alvarez, Kodai Senga. There's a lot of great talent on this team here, but for injuries, for underperformance, whatever it is, they just have not done well this year and have really not come together as one, and I think that's something that needs to be established. And I also agree about Jorge Lopez. I think Jorge Lopez has the right to be frustrated after that bad ejection, after being on a team that he probably expected to be good and being one of the worst teams in baseball. He wasn't wrong about that part, I'll say, about his rant. I think he has the right to be frustrated, but I also think that Lopez can't, if you're a baseball player, you can't do that. You can't throw your glove into the stands. You can't do these kinds of things. And while maybe I wouldn't have cut Lopez, maybe I would just give him an in-house suspension. I understand why they did, and it was time to move on for both parties. And just you can't do that. You can't throw your glove into the stands, and it's just an unfortunate situation all around. We know that Lopez is dealing with some personal issues as well with his son that may have escalated this, and just overall is very unfortunate for what's going on, and is something that is just, again, an unfortunate situation all around. So, it's just another day in the lives of the Mets, and yeah, this season has really been a disaster. I think a lot of people were expecting them to be kind of a new and improved Mets team with David Stearns coming in, really a whole new organizational culture coming in and all that, and it just has not been, and been really very unfortunate, and something that has really been bad. So, yeah, just, again, very unfortunate, but there's nothing you can do about it now, and hopefully Lopez has a better stop somewhere else. It was time to move on for both parties. So, yeah, that is our third segment here, talking about Jorge Lopez and the New York Mets and just the entire situation there. We'll be moving into our fourth segment here, which is going to be talking about Luis Gil and the amazing season he has had for the New York Yankees. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that, and we'll see you after the break. So, thanks, and bye.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our fourth segment, which is going to be talking about Luis Gil and the New York Yankees and the overall great season he has had for them. Now, Gil is obviously in their starting rotation this year for the Yankees, won a job fair and square out of spring training, and has done a really great job there. You look at him so far in May, he is 6-0 with a .70 ERA. Now, I don't really put much stock into a pitcher record, as it's not really a stat that reflects their abilities, considering it's a team thing mostly. But at the same time, the fact that he's still the team is 6-0 when he starts, I think shows how much confidence they have when he's on the mound. Just last night, he went 8 innings pitched, giving up 2 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. A really fantastic start for him. And yeah, it's been a really big help to this Yankees team, and I think something that has really propelled this team to be maybe even better than I thought they would be. Of course, I was very high on the Yankees, like most people coming into this year. When you have Juan Soto and Aaron Judge batting in the middle of your lineup, you're always going to be great, and you're always going to do a really good job. But at the same time, I think that one of the big problems with them going into the year was the pitching, especially with Garrett Cole going on the injured list. You already had some other question marks, like Marcus Stroman. He was an injury risk and didn't do great in the second half last year with the Cubs. You had Carlos Rodon, who had a pretty horrible season with the Yankees for the first one of his contracts. You had Clark Schmidt, who's more of a depth guy. Clayton Beeter, more of a depth guy. But Gil has really stepped up, solidified that rotation, and done an absolutely amazing job for this Yankees team, and really helped them a lot this year. So for after that, my overall thoughts on Heel, I think that honestly Luis Gil's a really, really good starting pitcher, and I'm really excited to watch his future and just watch what he can do throughout the next few years. This is a guy who has always had amazing stuff. I mean, the stuff has always been incredible with him, and he's always done a really good job being able to put that out there and just throw the pitch as well. He has under 2 ERA so far. His FIP is 2.97. His expected ERA isn't that bad as well. His ERA minus is 52. So, expected ERA is 2.7. So, overall, his peripherals are also showing that, hey, this isn't a guy that's getting lucky. This is a guy that's really good. And when you look at pitchers nowadays, when you try to evaluate them, the main thing you look at is stuff. And Luis Gil has some amazing stuff. I'll tell you that. He has some incredible, incredible stuff. His fastball is electric. His off-speed is incredible. The problem with him has always been, like a lot of hard-throwing young pitchers, the control. He doesn't know where the ball's going half the time. He has a lot of walks per 9. That's still true. But at the same time, he's been able to work around them. His left-on-base percentage is pretty good. And because his strikeout stuff is so good, and because he's been so good, even with his control kind of being non-existent, it's okay. And it's a way for him to be able to work around these kind of things, these things that are negatives for him and things that are not exactly great. So overall, Gil has been an amazing part of this Yankees team so far, been a real big excitement for them. And again, when Cole comes back, this Yankees team is going to be so, so scary. You're going to have Cole, you're going to have Rodon, you're going to have Gil, you're going to have Clark Schmidt, who's done well, Nestor Cortez, who's done well, Marcus Stroman, who's been doing well as well. And again, the pitching was the big reason why I was a little skittish on the Yankees going into the year. I thought that the Yankees were going to be a really good team. I had them as the 4th spot in the AL for the playoff picture. I thought they were the 3rd best team in the AL. But at the same time, I thought the Astros were better. And more specifically, I thought the Orioles were better. I thought the Orioles were a much better team than this Yankees team, mainly because of the pitching. Corbin Burns, great. Kyle Bradish, great. Grayson Rodriguez, great. And when Cole went down, that really just solidified my belief more. I was like, okay, this lineup's great, but for the first half, you're not going to have Cole. How exactly are you going to perform? And they've been arguably the best team in the league. And I think Luis Gil is a big part of that. He's solidified that rotation a lot, added a real legit back-end arm to that rotation, and was always a true wild card because, again, he has such electric stuff. And, again, really that fastball I love. But the question was, could he put it together? And he has. He's done a really great job and done really, really well. So props to him. And, yeah, good job for the Yankees having such a great pitcher for them. And he's really, really helped this team. Looking at the Yankees now, I think, again, when you get Cole back, this rotation's going to be great. Your offense, of course, is amazing with Soto, with Judge, getting DJ LeMahieu back. Maybe Anthony Rizzo will get it going. Not really sure about that, but we'll have to see. Even Jason Dominguez might be coming back in the later half of the second half, which also would help your team a lot. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see this Yankees team. And the AL's packed. Orioles, Astros, even though they're not doing great. You have the Twins, Royals, Tigers, Guardians, of course. Red Sox have done well. Blue Jays and Rays are still there. It's going to be interesting to see where they fit, and it's going to be interesting to see if they do end up getting that first seed. I think right now they're the best team in the AL, but it's going to be interesting to see this team overall, and I'm very excited to watch them and very excited to see what does end up happening with them and what the rest of the season does look like for this Yankees team. So yeah, something I'm definitely watching, and but Gil has been an amazing bright spot for this Yankees team, not the Mets, the Yankees team this year, and has really helped them out with their goals and has done a really great job. So props to him, props to the Yankees for being confident with him and putting him in the starting rotation. And yeah, again from Eric, I hope he stays healthy. Forcing an arm to throw 95 mile per hour fastballs in under 15 seconds strains ligaments in the elbow. Yes, 100%. Injuries is something that I definitely think is going to be a big factor with Gil, which for any real guy who throws heat like he does, I think him staying healthy is going to be a big factor in the Yankee season and just a big factor in his future as well. I think nowadays with all these pitching injuries in baseball, it is something that is really something to watch for every single pitcher, especially guys whose main pitch is a fastball. And also, you also asked, can the pitch clock be one of the reasons for all the pitcher injuries? I definitely think that's part. I think that's part of it. I think that pitchers have less time to recover within the middle of pitches nowadays, and I think that is part of the reason why there is so much stress in your arm. I don't think it's the biggest reason, but I do think it's a factor, and I think it is something that baseball may have to look to edit in the future, not get rid of, because I think the pitch clock has done a lot for baseball, a lot of great things for baseball, considering the attention span for a lot of people nowadays. It's done great there, but I think maybe if you should put it up 2 or 3 seconds just to give pitchers a little more time in between pitches. Maybe minuscule, but I think that would make a lot of difference for them, because I think injuries are a big factor in baseball right now and something that the pitch clock is affecting. So definitely agree with that there. So moving into our final segment, which is going to be talking about David Fletcher. A little bit of a fun thing here. Apparently he's trying to turn into a knuckleballer for the Braves. So that's really fun, and I'll be talking about that in the fifth and final segment. So yeah, see you after that. So thanks, and bye. And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our fifth and final segment, which is going to be talking about David Fletcher and his season for the Atlanta Braves. Not really a season, quote-unquote, but what he is trying to do for them. Now, news did break, I think around a day ago, that he is trying to become a knuckleballer for the Atlanta Braves, and that has been something that has been a talk of a lot of people right now, and something that has been a very interesting scenario right now for baseball. So, David Fletcher, of course, former infielder for the Angels and the Braves, kind of fizzled out with the Angels over the past few years, got traded to the Braves this year. He's been more of a depth guy and has been in AAA for them, and apparently is trying to take a new career path and has become a pitcher. I think he maybe saw the career ending with the hitting part, as he hasn't been doing that great. And he's apparently tried to develop a knuckleball recently, and it's actually pretty good. He went 5 innings pitched for AAA. Gwinnett for the Braves even struck out Jackson Holliday, top prospect in baseball. And it's just a really fun, interesting situation here, because if he's successful, I mean, I don't know if that's ever happened before. A position player becoming a pitcher, that's happened before many times, but a position player becoming a knuckleballer, one of the rarest ones. Usually it's a position player who wasn't able to hit and is using his athleticism to become a pitcher. But just one who wants to become a knuckleballer now, I think that's a really unique situation. And what makes this even more unique is David Fletcher's under investigation by Major League Baseball, which makes this even more crazy and gives another layer to it. He apparently is associated with the bookmaker for Shohei Ohtani, his former interpreter Ippei Muzahara, who is probably going to jail for a long, long time. So he's under investigation here for gambling allegations. We're not going to comment on it too much because we don't really know much about it, but that adds another layer to the situation. But overall, I think just going on David Fletcher and how to become a knuckleballer, I think it's really, really cool and really fun. And I think this is something that baseball needs nowadays. I think we take ourselves a little too seriously as baseball fans, and seeing this soft-hitting infielder who's kind of become a meme on the internet and a lot of people like, try to become a knuckleballer now and an actual major league pitcher is very fun, and I love it. It's really cool. And again, he did pretty solid, going 5 innings pitched against Norwalk, who is Baltimore's AAA team, who is probably the best farm system in all of Major League Baseball. So this professional, he's playing professional hitters, and he did a pretty good job. So props to him for doing that, and it's just a really fun situation. And looking at this again, there's not really many knuckleballers in baseball nowadays. The last one that significant I can remember was, of course, Stephen Wright with the Boston Red Sox, and then Mickey Giannis with the Baltimore Orioles and New York Mets. So those are the last ones. Matt Waldron, of course, plays for the Padres now. He is the real last one left kind of in Major League Baseball. He's a consistent knuckleballer, throws it a lot, is a real starting pitcher for this Padres team. And, knuckleballing could potentially be a bigger part of baseball soon. I think knuckleballers are someone that everyone loves to watch. They love to watch these guys throw pitches with zero spin whatsoever. And it's just a really fun situation and something I'm really enjoying. If David Fletcher can become a genuinely good knuckleball pitcher, become a genuinely good pitcher in Major League Baseball, it's going to be very, very interesting. And could he become a real starting pitcher for the Braves or a real reliever for the Braves? We'll have to see. But just a really fun situation here for the Braves and a really fun situation for David Fletcher. I think it's really cool. Again, we'll see if he does end up getting suspended for some of the things we've heard about, the gambling stuff. But overall, I love this. Again, I think it's just really cool, really fun, and I think baseball needs things like this. Just not taking yourselves too seriously, doing really cool things like this, and hopefully it's successful. That's all I can say. Hopefully he keeps going with this. Again, he had a really good start there for the Braves in AAA, and hopefully he keeps fine-tuning it. And I'm sure he'll get help from his friends in Major League Baseball. I'm sure he has to know at least one knuckleballer, past or present. Overall, a really fun situation here and something I'm watching in the future. And again, I think is really cool, really exciting for Major League Baseball, and just something I think is very cool and something that I think baseball needs more of. We need more knuckleballers, definitely. And if David Fletcher, of all people, can become a significant one and do a really good job with it and become even a consistent pitcher in this league as a knuckleballer, that would be really, really fun and really, really cool. So hopefully that can happen, and that's what I'm hoping for. So definitely a story I'm watching in the future, and definitely watching him. So that is our show today, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. I do apologize for some of the technical difficulties. First, when I had my guests on, it was showing a different background, which obviously was not supposed to be shown. It was working first, but I think I pressed something by accident that showed a different background. So that was a problem there, and then me having to cut the stream off halfway and split this into two things. That else was something that was a little bit weird. So I have to apologize about the technical difficulties today. Hopefully they weren't too bad, and hopefully you still did enjoy. So we invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram for more content updates. Remember to hit the notification bell, not only get notified when I upload, but all of the other great content creators on this channel do. It's a beautiful day outside. Enjoy it. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you Baseball Throws Ass tomorrow. Thanks, guys, and bye.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn ain't that